Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the
I
name
definitely
of abbot,
was there.
the art to
I did come a little
govern
late,
disciples
so
that
perhaps
conform
no one noticed me.
Brother,
That is to say,
I'm
he
sorry,
showed them
but I
all
don't...
that is good
This is your
and
first
holy
warning.
by his
Don't...
deeds even more
Where were
than by
you
his words, expounding the Lord's commandments
You're
in
right,
words
brother.
to the intelligence
This is your
among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Offenders, but since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli.
What troubles you?
I have everything we need for the escape.
Show me. No, you don't have everything.
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with God, he will deliver his soul from death. The rule of
What troubles you?
Benedict. Readings on
Peace be with you, brother.
idleness is the enemy of the soul.
Brother, I've a favour to ask, and I think you're the man to help me with it. Or you used...
I see, so it's the dodgy sort of favor, is it?
Well, yes. I need to get hold of the keys to the monastery.
That won't be easy, I can tell you that straight off. The prior always keeps the keys close by him. So how exactly do you imagine I could help?
Let them apply themselves to read. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none ere be said rather early.
How could I get hold of them?
Hour, and let them
With
again
great
do what work
difficulty.
has been done until vesper.
Unless you want to rob the
Or
prior.
sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive.
How could I get hold of them?
Their weakness must be taken
With
into
great
consideration
difficulty.
by the abbot.
Unless you want to rob the prior.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence...
There's something else on my...
lead us at times
Brother.
to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment sin. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent.
What do you
and listen.
desire, Brother Gregor?
For that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence.
I have everything we need for
But
the
as for
escape.
coarse jests and
Excellent.
idle words, or
Straight
words
after
that move
Vespers,
to
we'll meet in the
laughter,
dormitory.
these we condemn
We'll have to get it
everywhere
all
with a
done before the
perpetual
monks have
ban.
finished dinner.
What
For
exactly
such
is your plan?
conversation we do not
And why can't we
permit
do it
a
at night?
disciple to
We're going to
open his
prepare a
mouth.
little riddle they'll never solve. And why at
The rule of
mealtime?
Saint Benedict,
Because we need the
reading
dormitory as well as the church to
the
be
first
empty.
degree of humility
Then at
is
night we'll
obedience
escape.
without
Do
delay.
you follow? Take
This is
everything
the
with you
virtue
and
of
don't
those
forget the
who hold
keys.
nothing
Good.
dearer to them than Christ,
Once evening mass
who,
ends,
because
I'll
of
be in the
holy
dormitory.
service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, warmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Concoct 2 buck's blood potions. Once you finish... What troubles you?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. What is it, brother?
I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that they spent no time considering how they could make the monastery a better place now.
Why? What's wrong with it now?
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer. The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests. So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead exemplary lives. Sin abounds here, just as in the outside world.
What sins are you talking about?
The scripture says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." I'm sorry, Gregor, it's not my place to speak about the sins of others.
Tell me something about how the new abbot will be elected.
A new abbot has to be elected once the old one dies. All the brethren can vote, with the exception of novices. The abbot's crozier will be conferred on whoever is chosen, and he'll take the vow. When he becomes abbot, a monk spends most of his time dealing with politics outside the monastery, instead of actually leading the monastery. But he still maintains a fundamental influence on life here.
Can you tell me about Abbot Peter?
Peter's wise in the ways of politics and a good shepherd, but as you've already heard, he's old and infirm. The other brothers see him with one foot in the grave, but I still have hope for him. But you, brother, don't let yourself get involved in the games of your superiors. Could you help me with something?
With what?
I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
I don't want anything to do with it.
A pity. A real pity. I had hoped your soul would be uncorrupted and willing to help. Ah, great.
You mentioned you need help with something. Can you tell me more about it?
So you've changed your mind?
You can count on my help.
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now you know most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil, or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the three wise men were from the East, were they not?
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Celerius could help.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother will soon have the...
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
What would you like?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
What troubles you?
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting.
God be with you.
Can you read at all? I've never seen so many mistakes.
Talk to me, brother.
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are libri prohibiti, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Not even if I were to beg? Or promise a favor in return?
If you could prove to me that you truly like books, then maybe.
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
I don't need to hear anything else. I've heard about Avicenna's Book of Medicine. Could I see it?
Who told you about that? Of course you can't.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always traveling, and on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Tell me something about life here.
Prayer, work, obedience. That just about sums it up.
I'm interested in the monastery's history.
It was founded by Saint Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some time, but then the order was restored and brothers of the true faith returned.
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals, in a language foreign to God. They were driven away and their books burned.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. Then there's the prior and the sub-prior, the librarian, the porter, and many others. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the circators. They're the ones who maintain discipline and punish bad behavior.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager. Perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Can you leave the monastery?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in or out.
I'd like to ask you something about...
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Wonderful. Keep looking then. I'm sure you can find the rest.
Stored there aren't for your eyes to see. Get away from that cabinet. The books stored there aren't for your eyes to see.
Praise be to God! For a moment there I was worried you weren't coming. Give me that blood. This is the exact spot where you pushed me off the gallery. And here's where you dragged my lifeless body. Thank you for helping me out. Now we must each go our own way.
I was glad to help. I did what I needed to do and no one got killed. Now?
Now, get the hell out of here. Steal the first horse I come across and ride until dawn, far, far away from here. I was thinking... Here, take this. Show it to those cutthroat bastards and tell them you found it on me. That should convince them. Especially when they hear about the outcry here after the Friars found out we've gone.
Your lucky die?
In a manner of speaking. Hope it brings you more luck than it brought me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me live, Brother Gregor.
My name's Henry.
All right, Brother Henry. May God be with you.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
Yeah.
Someone there?
Yeah. Yeah.
This looks like the place they were talking about.
Morning, sunshine. Hope we didn't wake you.
Kurva! Did you have to sneak up on me like thieves?
We are thieves. Besides, we had to make sure you weren't followed. Or trying to lead us into a trap. But enough of this chit-chat. Let's get down to business. We heard there was some trouble at the monastery. Question is, was it the right sort? Did you do that job we agreed?
Do you think I'd be sitting here if I didn't do it?
How should I know? The world's full of idiots.
It's done.
You've got proof?
He had this on him.
Aye. That says all right. What did you do with the body?
I left it where it was. What else could I do?
So, they lose a monk and find a corpse. How long do you reckon it'll take them to put two and two together?
Well, it's not like I was planning to make a career in Rome.
Fair enough. Soon it won't matter anyway.
What now?
What now? You did your job. Welcome. We need people like you.
But what do you need people like me to do?
I'm just a crimp. All I do is recruit. Now you get to go to our camp and find out everything you need to know.
Where?
Are you seriously telling me you didn't notice the camp? Not too observant, are you? Well, there's a hill above Sasau, and on top there's an old abandoned fort. Only it's not as abandoned as it used to be. That's where the camp is. Go there and report to a fellow by the name of Eric. Tell him Kozliak sent you.
And they'll let me in just like that?
Good point. I almost forgot. At the gate, show them the special die you took off Pius. That's our sign.
That's all?
That's all. You'll learn everything you need to know at Vranik. And hurry up. I've got a feeling there's something being planned.
Yeah.
I hope I can be of help. Good luck to you. Take care now.
I'm from Skalitz. Good folk. You all know what happened there. Help your neighbor.
How's it going? Take care. Farewell.
Bread, fresh bread. Bread, clothes, buns, and pretzels for you. Bread baked just this morning. Bread.
Yeah.
What is it you want here?
God bless. What can I help you? Goodbye.
What have we here?
Mother of God! God be with you.
God be with you. May the Lord watch over you.